A new beverage in the Buffalo market that has everything you love about fall in a glass. We're talking about the local family-owned and operated cider company, Cider Creek Hard Cider. Today we're joined by the owners, Melanie and Kevin Collins, to learn more about this fall treat. I have to say, when the leaves start changing and the weather gets cooler, cider becomes my go-to drink. So let's start with where your story with Cider Creek started.
Yeah.
I started making hard cider as a hobby about 7 years ago. My older brother got me into it, and I was in dentistry for 13 years. And I just always wanted to start a family-owned business on my family's farm. So I took the leap of faith and gave up my life in Boston and started this hard cidery on our farm in Canisteo, New York.
And what did that leap of faith look like for you two?
Well, it started with he was quitting his job.
Which must have been like a lot to take in all at once.
It was scary, but we immediately turned to Kickstarter, and we used that platform to raise $25,000, and we used the money to convert a farm on his dad's property into the cidery.
And for people that haven't heard about Kickstarter yet, can you kind of explain a little bit of that to me?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's this really great platform where you go on, you tell people what your cause is, and it's almost like crowdsourced funding, and people can give you a pledge for $5, $5,000, whatever it may be, and if you successfully raise the money within your time slot, then they give you those funds.
And what was the amount of money that you wanted to raise, and where did you end up?
We wanted to raise just about $25,000, and we raised just maybe a few dollars over. Yeah, so we were right on the mark.
So after you have the money now, you've converted this barn into a place to make the cider. What happened next?
Well, we just took the leap of faith. You know, Kevin has been brewing. Probably we started selling, we went to market with it in May. That's when we first started selling it. And it's turned into this business that we never would have imagined. You know, it was just really a dream about a year ago. And here we are now selling throughout New York. We're about to start with a distributor in New York City. And we've been self-distributing here throughout the Finger Lakes and now into Resurgence here in the Buffalo area.
So let's talk about Resurgence Brewery. We've been out there here on Winging It a couple times. It's a great space owned by local brewers. How did you partner up with them?
I was in there with my family one day, just having a fun Saturday afternoon, and I introduced myself to the owners. I noticed that they had some cider on tap. And I approached them and said, hey, you know, we're a local company. We love, obviously, the craft movement that's taking place in Buffalo. You should try our cider and see what you think. So the next time I came back, I brought Kevin with me. And they had tried the cider and loved it. And Kevin and Dave, their head brewer, just hit it off immediately, fast friends. And they released this collaboration brew now. So you can get our cider on tap just as Cider Creek, but we also just released this cider ale, which is the first of its kind in the country, right?
Yeah, so this collaboration that we did, it hasn't been done since the millennia. It's, you know, back in the 1800s, to be very specific. But Dave and I came up with a smoked apple cinnamon saison cider ale with malted hops, barley, and grain. And it's 60% ale, 40% cider. And we had the tapping party for it last night at Resurgence. So it's one of the best things I've ever tasted.
And from quitting dentistry to making a type of beer that hasn't been seen in years and years and years, that must have been incredibly exciting. We're not going to go into what the cider tastes like because I'm going to challenge our viewers out there to go to Resurgence and just try it for themselves. But for people that want a little bit more information on your story and Cider Creek, can you tell me your website or where they can find that?
Yeah, they can go to www.cidercreekhardcider.com. We're also on Twitter at cider_creek. And
Facebook.com/Cider Creek Hard Cider.
All right, well, congratulations to the two of you, and welcome to Buffalo.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people out there will enjoy it, but we're going to change gears a little bit. We've talked about the drinking side of things. Why don't we talk over to the kitchen where we'll talk